Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope you're ready for your weekend and hope you got some good plans for this weekend. I got some plans. I'm going to be out and about, I guess a little bit, maybe not. But either way, I'm going to enjoy my weekend. Well, it's Friday night. It's a little late. Yeah, it's a late night trending topics, but you know what? We're still going to get into it. This trending topics is called embarrassing. Embarrassing. Judge Mathis came out and talked about the whole thing from Cat Williams to Monique and the whole situation of us just going. He said we the laughing stock. He said they laughing at us. You know what? I cannot prove anything, but I will say this. I say that in our culture, we're always set up for the foolery and we take the bait every single time. Every single time. Sun go down. Instead of us protesting silently, we'll do a riot and we'll tear down the whole neighborhood that we're living in. And they let us. But they won't let you go to their neighborhood and tear it down. At work, we work together and we pluck away at each other. He said we are the laughing stock of Hollywood right now, and all of these comedians need to take that thing privately and handle it. If they don't get us to turn against each other, we do it on our own. It's kind of sad and it's devastating, right? And I know everybody says you got a right. We always got rights, right? Speak your truth. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell everybody. Just scream it to the mountaintops. And then we go gutter low at each other in front of the world. And it's like, look at them again. I don't listen. Y'all beat me down with a stick. Oh, so Diva, you shouldn't speak up for yourself. You should just stay quiet. You ever hear that saying? And I'm not talking about sinister stuff. Parents be like, what happened in this house? Stay in this house. And trust me, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm not talking about if somebody's getting end or art or whatever. But for the most part, if you got some business, you keep it in this house. Do I think they should try to settle their differences privately? I do, but that's me. But we're going to talk about Judge Mathis' response to all of that. Then Kevin Hunter. He was a messed up husband. Probably was a messy man. But at the end of the day, I think we could probably all agree on this. When Wendy Williams was with him, she was going through, hitting a bottle. Yeah, she was going through maybe doing some other stuff. But did we hear about it in these streets? We did not. So maybe Kevin Hunter probably should have just been her manager and not her husband, her spouse. So he said when he saw the trailer for that documentary, he was sick to his stomach the way they was exploiting her. There are men in this world that they cheat, but they still love you. They got 2 wives and a girlfriend, and they love them all. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is so. I think in his own sick, crazy way, he truly did love Wendy Williams. And he protected her in his own sick way. Do I think if he was still under, if Wendy was still being managed by him, yeah, he might have stole her money, but that documentary, this I'm 10 toes down on, would have never happened. Wendy Williams, because I told you, I live in Jersey, and I go to talk shows all the time. I love it. It's a nice outing, little free ticket to a talk show, have a lot of fun, then you go pay for your lunch, eat, and go home. I've been to the Wendy Williams show tons of times. When I went towards the end, before she stopped coming, I knew she wasn't well. First of all, they cut the show short. And then second of all, they was helping her walk in the audience. When she would do that Ask Wendy and she would go in the audience, first they started moving the purple chair to the audience. And then they would have her security guy. He was yay tall. Wendy Williams is tall. He was taller than Wendy. And she held on to him tight and walked into that chair. One time I went, they said she had to go rush. She had an emergency. I think the emergency, she wasn't well. This is just my opinion, because she was drinking. It's hard when you see the rise and fall of, someone like that. Love her or hate her, most people loved her. And you know how people say, I wouldn't want to see something happen to my worst enemy. I wouldn't want to see, anything happen to Wendy. Hey, Shay, listen, I spoke on the Wendy Williams show before. I spoke on the Tamron Hall show before. If I could ever find a clip, I will show y'all. I've been on, what's his name? Dr. Oz. I've probably been at every darn talk show in New York. Now, I haven't been to Drew yet. I think I'm going to go see what Drew is all about. And I have not been to Kelly Clarkson. But I've been to Watch What Happens Live with Kelly and Regis, not her husband or anybody after that. So we're going to talk Kevin Hunter, saying Kevin Hunter said he was shocked that his son took a part in that documentary, because he said he wasn't. He was 10 toes down that he was not going to take a part. So he was shocked when he saw his son in it. So that means his son didn't even tell him he was going to be in it. He said he was shocked to see his son in it. Then there's this iPhone thief, which is shocking. iPhone thief. And the iPhone thief was in the store. He just went in the store. Now, you know what? You got to be the dumbest thief, knowing that there's all of this, what do you call it? A video. You going to go in the iPhone store and steal? And he was just blazing, just bop, 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 taking all of. They caught him, 22 years old. When you grow up and the best you got is that you're stealing, how sad and messy. How sad and messy. Now, I'm glad y'all joining me here for this Friday night trending topics. Somebody asked me, when we're going to have court again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can I get a whoa, whoa, whoa? Let me tell you something. I had a lot of fun doing court, but it was a lot of work. And thank God to the beautiful subscribers that I have and the panelists that come up, because they put in the work. Then we have a court date. We had a court date over here. We'll probably do another one. We'll do another one, but we got to, it takes work, y'all. It was work. We didn't just wake up and do that thing. It was work, but maybe we will have another court date, but not tonight. Okay, not tonight. So listen, guys, I'm going to pull the people in the building, okay, because it's Friday night trending topics. No, we did not practice. We did not practice at all. No, we did not. Now, the lawyers, they talked. But nobody practiced. We didn't practice when we did the jury, none of that. That was all ad-lib. Come on now. Hey, Vanessa. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, you love Diva Court. Well, we're glad you enjoyed it. Brandon, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. If what Kevin showed Wendy is love, then I don't want it. Listen, I don't want it either. But see, what we got to understand is people love you the way they know how to love. So what is love is relative to what you feel love is. And in his own way, he loved Wendy the way he knew how to love her. But all I can say is this, that when Wendy Williams was with him, we never saw nothing about her in these streets. And she was messed up for a while when they were still together. But he did protect her in that way. That's why I said he might have been better as her manager, not her lover, not her husband. But you know, that's water under the bridge now. And here she is today, right? He protected her. Uh-huh. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Come on now. All right, listen, I'm going to board these people on the train. But you know what? As I board the people, I got a little song for us. Got a little song for us as I bring the people in the building. And y'all know what I need, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and I'm glad y'all coming through tonight. And the trending topics is called embarrassing. Okay? Judge Mathis said he's embarrassed about the way we're acting as a community in these streets. Kevin Hunter embarrassed when he saw that trailer and said he would never, he can't even stand seeing Wendy Williams like that. And then I'm embarrassed that this young 22-year-old running in the iPhone store and just stealing all these iPhones. $49,000 worth of iPhones. 22. I mean, he should be working a job somewhere, finish college, enjoying life. You're stealing iPhones. I can't do it. It's just a mess. It's always us with the foolery. I'm about to bring the people in the building as I play my little song here. Hold on.
Breaking news tonight. Rage across America. Protesters out today over the killing of George Floyd. The entire National Guard there called up for the first time ever. New curfews set for tonight as cities brace for the worst. American ingenuity. But it comes as we brace for something else. The country's long history of racial injustice boiling over.
May your love flow like a river. May it rain like the clash of the sea. Fill my cup with your precious love. Let it rain down on this land from the skies above. Take me from this trauma we see. Created me true prophecy. I don't know how long I can endure, but I know your love can heal this land for sure.
First, here tonight at 10, the shooting death of a Dayton teen is shining a light on the issue of domestic violence.
Human trafficking is believed to be the third largest criminal enterprise on earth.
Opioid abuse in the United States is at epidemic level.
And now to the latest on the coronavirus. The United States is reporting the highest number of deaths in a single day, nearly 1,500.
May your love flow like a river. May it rage like the clash of the sea. Fill my cup with the precious love. Let it rain down on this land from above. Take me from this trauma we see.
know, we just had to usher in this Friday with a little music. I hope you enjoy. Come on now. Please like, subscribe, share. We're about to get into it, okay? It's Friday night, and it said embarrassing. We're going to go ahead and start out with Judge Mathis because he had a little word to say.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. He had a little word to say about the whole situation that's going on with the comedians. So let's hear Judge Mathis speak. Just give it 1 second, everybody.
I want to appeal to our comedians to stop going after each other in public like this. You're embarrassing yourselves. You're embarrassing our community. I know many times you have to defend yourself about what's being said, but why can't we do it directly? And I just want you to know, I believe that we're being laughed at all the major studios and by their executives, seeing us in public, Black folks going at each other. You don't see this among other communities. And that's why I say you're hurting yourselves and you're hurting our community and you're hurting the young people who are looking and want to learn and need to learn how to resolve disputes in a better way. I'm no saint. I'm guilty of having temper issues from time to time on my show. That's entertainment. You guys say what you want as part of your entertainment, but don't go out your way and personally attack each other, particularly your families. I appeal to you for that. Let's not turn on each other. Let's turn toward each other.
Thank you. And that was a word from Judge Mathis. I do want to share screen again. Give me 1 second. So Judge Mathis on Cuff Shay Shay, Black Entertainment Beefs, embarrassing. Hollywood's laughing stock. So Cat Williams and Monique sharing their truth on Cuff Shay Shay was the worst possible move for the Black community, at least in Judge Mathis' eyes. The man has been paid to have an honest gauge on uneasy situations, legal, ethical, and otherwise. And according to him, he rules that all his mudslinging stinks. Okay, all this mudslinging stinks. On Friday, Mathis held court on his IG page and called for an end to recent missiles launched in the public eye amongst Black entertainers. And missiles exactly is what's been going on. Okay, missiles. Okay, this was Kat. Let's get a reminder here.
Every human matters.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let this ad skip.
With us at 9
Are you related to Luda?
No. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us. We were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Cat Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it.
All right. He didn't single out Kat and Mo by name, but the social media space has been in shambles since Kat's interview aired on January 3rd, and Mo followed suit this week, even joining Cat Williams' nationwide tour with other comics who seem to have bones to pick. Judge Mathis didn't bite his tongue. He called the feeding frenzy an embarrassment to the Black culture and feels it's a gut that big Hollywood execs and studios are silently laughing on the sidelines. He also pointed out he doesn't see other cultures tearing each other down in public, just Black people being a sideshow spectacle. That's how he's framing his argument here. The 63-year-old justice admitted he doesn't always keep his cool in his own courtroom, but notes those outbursts are spun into entertainment for his TV shows. Judge Mathis concluded by stressing that stars' issues should be hashed out in private settings instead of setting bad examples. We'll see if Shannon Sharpe takes a breather with these interviews, or if he keeps on bringing celebs on with more grievances to air. On his face, he seems inclined toward the latter. Whew, it's a word right there. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
I think two things can be true at the same time. Maybe they did go to each other in private, and maybe nothing was worked out, and now they're going to each other on platforms. I do feel like when Williams did it, though, he was addressing things that other people had already said about him. So,
thank you. In my opinion, Savannah, you're up.
I'm going to have to agree with Judge Mathis on this issue. The comedic scene is a family setting, if you will, and I do believe these grievances need to be taken behind closed doors. When it comes to the Black culture, that it seems to be dominating our television scenes, our music industry, our social media, and it does influence the way we dress, our music, our children. So I do tend to agree. I am going to agree with Judge Mathis on this. So because it does cross over into other races, ethnicities. It's copied. Regardless of what race or ethnicity, it doesn't matter whether it's Asian, Caucasian, Hispanic. They do mimic and copy the African American scene vibe. So I am going to agree with him. This should be kept behind closed doors. So I am going to agree with Judge Mathis on this issue.
Thank you, Savannah. I appreciate you. Felicia, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's here. Judge Mathis is interesting. I think I could have went along with most of that until he mentioned Shannon Sharpe. And I think that's what this is all about. The envy some of these folks have in this entertainment industry about Shannon Sharpe's arrival. They don't really like it. They're not understanding it. And he's making lots of money. So it was an unexpected bonus to something that he wanted to do, that he took a risk on himself, and he is having success. I agree with opinion. She said, hey, and that's what Kat said. A lot of people went up there with Mr. Sharpe and said a lot of things, and he was responding. I listened to that interview in full and many times, and I wasn't nearly as offended as some of these 20-second bites I hear out here or some of these other conflicts. And when we were doing some research on this piece between DL and Monique, it goes back 4 or 5 years of nasty, filthy, ratchet things. Has Judge Mathis made a comment previous to Mr. Shannon's success? I did not read any. So if he wants to negotiate a peace, I think that would be great. But I don't think Shannon needs to show up. I just think he needs to keep doing what he's doing. And God bless him that he continues to have the success that he is having. And I'm done.
Thank you. Dustin, you're up.
Can you hear me, Diva?
Hi.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Judge Mathis on this. I'm a big fan of Judge Mathis, and it's very sad to see this go on right now. So I do agree with what Felicia said, and I hope everything works out for Judge Mathis.
Thank you, Dustin. Julius, you're up.
I think Judge Mathis needs to mediate. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Be the mediator. And really get to the root. Because after I watched his video, I started to think the issue is way bigger than Cat Williams, way bigger than Monique. Them two are just a symptom of a bigger issue that I feel that does need to be talked about. It needs to be dealt with. And I think, well, Judge, mediate. Call the court to order. Mediate. As we said when we did Diva's Court, order in the court. Call them to order. That goes for everybody. Ludacris, Monique, Cat Williams, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, all of them. Because it's deeper than all of us here on this panel that we even know. We only know the surface stuff.
Gotcha. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Katrina, you're up.
Diva, can I? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to thank Diva for putting me in next to Julius tonight. It really does help to have next to Julius tonight. It really helps me be on this panel since I've been absent. So thank you for putting me next to Julius tonight, Diva.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dustin.
All right. Katrina, you're up.
Yeah. I admire Judge Mathis and what he's trying to do. But this is the same man that called out Wendy Williams on her show. Called her everything because she was coming for him for his digressions. I know he's coming out now, but what I don't understand is why didn't he come out when Cat Williams was talking? Why you waited till Monique come out and then you say something? Even though I know he probably sit back and was waiting whatsoever, and I'm not saying that he's doing because she's a lady, but I'm just saying when Cat Williams was saying all this about all these other people, you didn't say nothing. But when she said something, here you come. You should have said something when Cat Williams said something too. And not, I mean, I know you're saying something now. I get it. We understand that, he's saying that they're fighting and all this type of stuff. But Monique been saying this forever. So everything that she's saying, we already heard. But what I'm saying is you waited till she came out to say something. And now you're saying something. But you didn't say anything when Cat Williams said anything. I'm just saying, I'm just calling it how I see it. And I'm happy that he is saying something now. But you should have said something when Cat Williams was saying something. While you waited for her. That's all I got to say, y'all. That's it. That's it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Katrina. E, you're up.
Excuse me. Hello, everyone. I have some things to say, and it ain't gonna be nothing nice. So, Diva, do I have permission?
Yes, you do.
Let me hear it, girl. Let me hear it.
Me too.
Hey, Tay. Hey, Julius. This is my thing. When I listened to that video of Mathis, I thought to myself, he should talk. He said, we're being laughed at. Black folks going after each other. We're hurting ourselves. And then he tried to usher in this false accountability by acknowledging his own temper, his own use of foul language and slander and tendency to judge and gossip on his own farce of a knockoff Judge Joe Brown TV show. He called his stunts an entertainment. But when you poke a lion with the chair, it is not an entertainment. It is a circus. Mathis called what Cat Williams and Monique did on Club Shay Shay, I believe you said missiles, and black folks tearing each other down, and Hollywood execs are laughing at this. It's a spectacle. But isn't that what he does? When they cast these ridiculous caricatures, excuse me, he hires these outlandish personalities to come onto his courtroom TV set. And there are people who I know one person personally. Everything that he does on that show, that is fake. I want you all to know it's a courtroom version of Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. And he wants to call Club Shay Shay a spectacle. I have a problem with that. Because I've seen people on his show talk about each other's mothers, each other's kids, and hair weaves. Sometimes it's gotten so outlandish, folks have almost come to blows. And in his audience, it's filled with not only black folks, Asian, white, Latin, you name it. And they're all laughing at these folks in his courtroom. And so he has the nerve to call Club Shay Shay a spectacle. Hell no. Greg Mathis is making a mockery of the court of law in the United States is what he's doing. And he is broadcasting in urban communities to where they think this is an acceptable form of decorum in the court of law, and it is not. He is fine with white folks laughing at black folks when he is getting $1 from it on his version of entertainment. But when he sees another black man getting a coin from it, now we need to keep the business in-house. We need to be quiet about it. Oh, no. I have a big problem with that. And my last point is, I am sick of people telling black folks that other cultures don't tear each other down in public. That is a lie. That is a fat lie. A fat Brazen lie is what it is. White people do it all the time. Don't y'all watch The Housewives of Salt Lake City? Before Garcelle went over to Beverly Hills, wasn't Lisa Rinna raising hell? The same way some people in our black community can carry on like an N-word, it's the same way some of these white folks are out here in public acting like trailer park and white trash. And you won't be able to convince me of anything otherwise. Our demographic numbers in the United States pale in comparison to those of our white and Hispanic counterparts. But you want me to believe one of the smallest minority groups of people is the only group in Hollywood that's acting a damn fool? I don't think so. It's a farce. It's what they do to gaslight black people when they want to get us back under control. White people speak up all the time, and it's just called a disagreement. So when we have our black entertainers, when they are having a disagreement, let them hash it out and let them get to the bottom of it. They're not making us look bad. They're hashing out their disagreements no more than when Trump and DeSantis are going at it. Don't tell me black people are the only ones doing it, because it's not true.
Appreciate you, E. Tay, you're up.
Let the church say amen and woo woo, E.
Woo woo woo.
Well, Diva, I'm on side with E too about what she said. Yes, our country talk about about the other people. You know what I mean? Everything is gonna fall down to the hill. And I disagree with Bro Mathis, what he said. I disagree with that. Because hello, you're the one talk to Wendy Williams in the public at her show. Did everybody forget about that too? Nope. No. Right now, here you gonna talk about this, that, everything. I'm just getting him outside right now. I'm gonna get him outside. And what's that number again? Please tell me again what that number is again.
What number?
How about the people?
13.2?
Yes, thank you. Hallelujah.
Choo choo.
Yep.
And tell that diva I disagree. I'm Team E right now. A Shade Club is not what it is. Okay, Shade Club got more billions than brother Mathis. I mean George Mathis. Okay, thank you.
Appreciate you, Tay Tay. Emmanuel, you're up.
Diva, your face for me.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Judge Mathis.
Come on now.
I think
can
these
always count on
people.
you, Emmanuel. Let me sit up. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
think these people are. It's really what they're doing, and I put all of them together. Cat Williams, Monique. It's really counterproductive. If they spent the same amount of energy complaining about others, putting it into their hard work, they would be doing so well right now. Go write some jokes. Go entertain us. And I mean, it really doesn't affect our lives anyway. I mean, when you have people right now struggling to put food on the table and you're hearing someone complain about they didn't want to go promote a movie overseas, it's kind of first world problems. So I agree with the judge.
I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Okay, let's stand together again on a Friday night. We're on the car home, but it's okay. We can stand here, right? We're good. I do get it, right? Everybody has a right. I'm sorry, I see somebody trying to get backstage, but backstage is full. The train is packed. The people got their train early. The people got their train on the ticket early. Hold on one second, guys.
Make sure you hit the like button, everybody.
All right.
And do not cheat the diva too.
That's right. Don't cheat the diva. Hit the like button. Okay. So yes, I just think this, right? Everything doesn't need to be done publicly. You can fight battles in private and they can get resolved. And I do believe at this point, Judge Mathis did. He went off. Okay. Yeah, his show was a hot mess. But I do agree that at this point, let's take this street fight behind closed doors and let's figure it out. And I do hope when they go on tour, all the jokes are not focused on tearing down other comedians. I hope they just tell jokes and make us laugh. In case you're interested, I did find, let me just have a fun moment here. Let me see if I find it. Give me 1 second here. I found when I was over there on the Tamron Hall show, being me. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I could play this.
A nurse to verify if you are actually sick. Yeah, they're selling a lot of burritos to be able to afford a nurse on duty. The nurse, he says, validates it's not a hangover. You're really sick, then we pay for the day off so you can get healthy again. Who's ever called in sick and not been really sick? Okay, I'm judging. Mental health day. Lord knows I've needed a few. Lucy in Cyber Hall says Chipotle is right. You think they're right to hire a nurse, Lucy?
I tell you what, I have had my share as a manager over the years of having people call in sick in unprofessional ways. I had hangovers for sure, and it's just not professional. And I don't want people with hangovers anyway fixing my food. But I just think you have to do something about it. As a manager, it's a nightmare with bad excuses and
I get
people
that.
calling in. So you know what your schedule is.
Oh,
don't get hungover the night before.
If ever I launch a business, Lucy is my manager. I'm hiring Lucy. Okay, who's called in sick before? Okay, let me get you stand up. What's your name?
Karen.
You're going to confess to calling in sick when you weren't sick?
Well, yeah, and I'm actually self-employed, and I've called in sick hungover to myself. So, yeah, I've done that.
So you're self-employed, you call in, hey.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to make the meeting today. Yeah.
I love that. But
I'm very forgiving to myself.
Okay, you made my day with that one. Well, anybody else called in sick before and got busted? You didn't get busted, but you've called in. That cute outfit.
Oh, thank you.
tell me you've done it. What's your name?
My name is Cheryl.
And-
And actually, I haven't called out sick and got busted, but I'm a registered nurse.
Uh-huh.
And I think this policy is ridiculous.
Oh.
Because as a nurse, anything information you get from the patient is subjective. I can't tell a patient they're not really dizzy or they don't really have a hangover. So Chipotle is foolish for doing this, because if you tell that person to come to work, they trip, they fall, whatever, now they can get sued. So they're going to save a nickel to spend a dime. They're crazy.
Okay. Listen. Okay, I would drop the mic, but it would be repaired, and I don't have the money for it.
Well, there it is, my little moment on the Tamron Hall show. Let's get back to business, all right?
I love that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so back to business. Let's get to Kevin Hunter, okay? Let's get to Kevin Hunter. And Kevin Hunter, and I do believe him, like I told y'all before, the thing is, when it comes to men and when it comes to people, right? People love you the way they know how to love you. And many of us may not see it as love, right? But that's the way they love you. In his own crazy way, Kevin Hunter, he loved and he protected Wendy the way that he knew how, right? And she accepted his love for what it was, okay? All right, so let's go into this Kevin Hunter story. Let me just find it. Oh, I got so much stuff here. All right, I found that. So I'm not going to play this trial again because it's devastating. And plus, they're going to make me cut it out, okay? He had no idea Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter Sr., blindsided and furious over new Lifetime doc about troubled hosts. Wendy Williams' former husband, Kevin Hunter Sr., felt blindsided and furious upon learning about the new Lifetime documentary on his very troubled ex. An insider in Wendy's inner circle exclusively told the U.S. Sun that Kevin, 51, was caught completely off guard when he saw how his ex was depicted in the Where's Wendy trailer, and that he was deeply disappointed in the project. Kevin was shocked to see his ex-wife portrayed in such a negative light in the Lifetime trailer. He was also totally blindsided that their son, Kevin Jr., ended up signing into the project after he initially said he wanted nothing to do with it. The insider noted that Wendy's ex was dead set against the documentary from day one, as he firmly believed it would only further diminish his ex-wife's legacy, which is true. The former TV host left her wildly popular TV show during the 12th season in July 2021 amid ongoing health and legal battles. Kevin, known to his friends as Big Kev, told close associates that he found the scene in the trailer showing Wendy, 59, yelling over a bottle of vodka and appearing disoriented in the middle of New York City were very sad to see. Kevin said he was furious his ex-wife still being exploited to that level. Meanwhile, the father, too, was also sorry that his son, Kevin Jr., ultimately signed into the project. Little Kev was repeatedly advised that it was a bad look to be involved in the project and that it was not in the best interest to have his name attached to it, the insider added. In the trailer, the star was filmed as her health steadily declined in recent years. The former queen of daytime broke down in tears as she struggled with both mental and physical illness in the light of the end of her talk show series. She said, "Since I was 6 years old, all I wanted was to be famous." It's something about fame, y'all. Wendy told cameras as footage of her at her peak played. The New Jersey native was seen smiling and laughing as she greeted hundreds of adoring fans. The documentary included scenes from Wendy's career highlights, including her receiving her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Then the trailer took to a dark turn, showing Wendy in her current state for the first time in over a year. The documentary teased a sit-down with the talk show host's son, Kevin Hunter Jr., who claimed that his mom has done a really good job at making it seem like everything's okay. But in reality, there's something wrong going on, he confessed to the cameras. Wendy struggles. One clip in the trailer shows Wendy in the backseat of a black vehicle, her face looking more gaunt than ever before. A producer off camera asks, "Have you seen a neurologist?" To which the star replies, "To see if I'm crazy? Other clips show the former radio host struggling to remain upright, needing assistance to even stand on her own. A male voice is heard saying she was put in front of a judge and given a guardian. That was when they took her away from us. Heartbreaking turn back in a confessional style scene while sitting in her iconic purple chair. The TV personality sent fans a warning message. She revealed, "I have no money. And let me tell you something. If it happens to me, it can happen to you." Wendy then broke down in tears on camera while clutching a pillow tight to her chest. In another triggering scene, the host manager, Will Selby, asked if she drank an entire bottle of vodka. Now, why would he do that? And he's the manager. Asked her, did she drink an entire bottle of vodka today? The star snapped and told him, keep the bottle there, despite her frail condition while laying in bed. Then the radio host's son said he believes his mom has worked enough in her career, though she intended to return to TV. At another discernment point in the trailer, Wendy admitted she didn't know where she was, although she was driving around Manhattan, her home, for years. Right after a member of Wendy's team did claim she seemed to be losing memory. Her niece and Florida newscaster, Alex Finney, told the host that there have been random people around, to which Wendy added, "Stealing money from me?" The Trouble Star two-part documentary airs on February 24th and 25th. I'm thinking, I don't know how to do it yet. Maybe we can do a watch party. But the reason why I brought this up is because, do you believe Kevin, her ex-husband, saying this thing was dreadful, and he doesn't know why they even did it? In my opinion, your thoughts?
I agree. This is dreadful. I don't know why we portraying her around like this and not getting her the help she need. And we all know Will Selby was there only for the money. So I already want a forensic accountant to go through her finances because he was, let's be clear, he was friends with that doggone conservator. And when that came out, I have been side-eyeing him ever since because he's the one that's been patrolling her around talking about some, let's do a TV show, let's do a talk show, let's do. I don't like that man. Okay, how you become a jeweler and then all of a sudden now you a manager? Make that make sense.
It's sad. Savannah, you're up.
Diva, I think this two-part series is going to be the number one ranking item on Lifetime. I think we're all Wendy watchers, lover or hater. I think it is going to be the most watched item on Lifetime. I, as you, visited Wendy's studio a couple times, and uh, and I did see how Kevin protected her, guided her, and she always did look for him. And if you recall, her office was across the street. It was on the second floor, so I did see her, how he would be outside waiting for her and brought her over while we were outside waiting to get inside the studio. So he did, and I do think that that Wendy was okay, and and they do, if it wasn't for the baby coming, I do think that they would still be in that type of three person relationship if it wasn't for that the child coming along, because Wendy knew that Sharita was always there, but Kevin always did protect Wendy, guided her even when she was sick, because you were right, she did need help going up the steps. And during Ask Wendy, my daughter was interviewed by Wendy for one of the segments when Cake Boss had the DUI. Because that studio, I remember it was ice cold. Wendy kept it very cold in that studio. But as heartbreaking as it is to say, I will be watching it. I actually can't wait to watch it. But I hate that because I myself was always asking what is a Wendy. The last I did hear that she was down in Florida, and I was always wondering where Wanda was and who was watching out for her. I'm glad Tommy's not involved anymore. But I agree with Kevin in some sense that this documentary should have not been made. But I'm glad that we do get some glimpse into what is a Wendy right now. But it is sometimes the devil, is best to have in your corner sometimes, and that's so sad to say, but he did protect her in some sense. It's unfortunate, but he in some sick way, Kevin did want the best for Wendy, and I think she needs him right now, um, and she's still in her sense. She's still in love with Kevin or Calvin. She's still in love with that man. So I'm gonna continue praying for Wendy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So many people said if he loved her, he wouldn't have had a mistress, he wouldn't have had a baby, he wouldn't have had this. All I can say is I hear you. Felicia, you're out.
Okay, so I happen to believe that people can love each other, and that doesn't mean that they have to be together or that they should be together. I also believe that people who are not together or may not be in a relationship can care deeply about one another. And my reaction was in support of Eve's when you ran this story the other day. They should have pulled this. This isn't complimentary to anyone, to the people who love her and the people who don't really care for her. And I do believe that when he saw those trailers, he was shocked. That was his wife. They had a long life together. And to see that and to see those people around you, those predators that I often speak about, I could see, I can believe that yes, there was some hurt, there was some deep disgust from what he was seeing and experiencing. So yeah, I believe he really felt that way, and if there was something he could do about it, he would pull it.
I'm feeling you, Felicia, on that. I really am. I know somebody that I dated a long time ago. Yeah, they cheated on me. They still love me, but they just was a cheater. And you go ahead on your way. But still was willing to do so much for me and not even to get back with me. And to this day, apologizing. I mean, I ain't doing nothing with that. But do you understand what I'm saying? My point I'm only trying to get out is that people can be people and be messy, but still love you. Dustin, you're up. I think somebody said he may be feeling embarrassing too. It's go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's very sad to see that Lifetime they would do a documentary about Wendy, because I think Wendy would be better off to not have any cameras around her, because it'll just make it worse for her.
Thank you, Dustin. Kevin communicated with me way back when everybody was trying to find out where Wendy was when her show was still going on and they was having co-hosts there. And I asked him what the problem was. Do you remember this, in my opinion? And he told me, he says alcoholism. He told me. And he said, you remember Brown Aja? He told me, he said it's alcoholism. He said she's drinking herself pretty much to oblivion. And when they went to clean out her office at the Wendy Williams show, and even before that, they was finding empty alcohol bottles allegedly everywhere.
But here's the thing: they put up with it and they supplied her with it. But now we're gonna put it out on TV and blast about it.
It's different people. Like Denise said, there's all kind of strange people around you. And Wendy, because she's having her moments of clarity, and she's like, "Yeah, I know, stealing my money, right?" Julius, you're up. Listen, Allison, Kevin
I'm
Hart was saying he loved his wife, and he allegedly is sleeping with everything under the sun and doing everything that he's doing. It's just it is everybody. Unfortunately, they learn love differently. There's no
Kevin loves himself.
yeah, but there's no one definition of love. What
I'm
one person may see as love, another person may not. Julius, you're up.
I'm happy that the documentary is coming out. Sad at the same time. Because Wendy is such a iconic public figure. But before I get chewed up in the chat, the reason why I say I'm happy is because now the overbearing question of where's Wendy, where's Wendy, where's Wendy can stop. We can tell she's not doing well. This is what this documentary is showing.
And you need to see that?
No, but for the ones in the back, this is more so for them because I already had a gut feeling she was pretty bad just by the outfit things and all of that. But it stops that question. And as far as Kevin goes, he had a part to play in her demise. Not that Wendy didn't, but he had a part to play. And he likes to dance around it. Now, I don't think that he didn't not love her, but he still doesn't own up to his part. And that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Brown Eyes, I'm connecting with you on this. I think if it was not for Kevin, she would have been canceled a long time ago. It was this sick relationship that they had. It became her norm. People say new norm. It became her norm. It was all she knew, and she was used to it, and she didn't want to let it go. But I forgot what they call it when like a female's in a relationship so long and has been mentally, physically, and emotionally, abused, so to speak. They fall into something. The word is not coming to my mind right now, and I truly believe that's where
Learned helplessness.
I can't.
No, it's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. So I think Wendy Williams was definitely there. And I do think if the baby never became public, Wendy Williams would have still been with him. But those are just thoughts in my head. Katrina, you're up.
Yeah. The thing of it is, Wendy was a function addict. But Wendy loved the drugs and Kevin loved the money. So he was keeping her function so she can keep giving him what he needed. And she was getting what she needed, which was the drugs whatsoever. And the thing of with the documentary, that's her life and we understand that. But I think he feels like this is my wife, my ex-wife. And by me leaving her, look what has become of her. So are you feeling guilty because she's went down when you knew that she had these problems all along? And now that it's coming to light, it making you look worse than what you really were? The thing of it is, with Wendy, everybody already knew that Wendy had this problem. But like I said, she was a function addict. She can still go out and do what she had to do. And like I said, he kept her in check so that, as I said, he loved her money and she loved what she was doing. And the thing of it, like I said, now, since the documentary is coming out, I'm not saying he didn't love her or anything like that, but they're making him look like, okay, so now she's really gone down after I left her. And you can't make nobody love you, can't make nobody stay with you. I understand that too. And like we said a long time, like we said, we already knew that that man was cheating on Wendy. Wendy knew this man was cheating on her. It ain't no surprise. But the deal breaker was the baby. And if I think if the baby wasn't public, if Sharina wouldn't have put it out there, Wendy would still be with Kevin. if nobody knew about this baby. That's the one hot topic she would have probably kept to herself. And once that came out, that was all explosive because she put everybody else's business out. So they was gonna come back for her, as they did. But like I said, she was a functioning addict, and by him not even trying to get her help because he was getting what he wanted from her in a situation, he can go out and cheat. She's at home drunk and sleep. He can go do what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to be there. He ain't did what he had to do to get her through that day to make sure the check still running in. So it was working for both of them at that point in time. And I hate to see them like that. I really do. Like I said, I don't want to see no demise of any person. But, sometimes things come full circle. And you just have to go with that knowledge. And with the thing that's going to happen, it's going to be there. And I really don't think that documentary should be out. Simply because the reason, I know a lot of people saying they want to know where Wendy at. You're not going to tell me that you didn't see Wendy going down when you seen her walking around with them little blue jean shorts on. Come on, be for real. Going to get vodka. Sitting in the lobby with them big shoes on. Come on, we know that's not what Wendy wanted to be pictured as. Wendy always wanted to be stylish with her wigs and her jewelry and whatsoever. She don't want to be seen like that. It's ridiculous. But neither here nor there. I digress. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Katrina. This is just information for anybody. And if you follow Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams used substances way before Kevin Hunter came into her life. I think it's a lot. They put a lot of times we put a lot on someone else's back. Like, with Bobby Brown, everybody want to say Bobby Brown was the reason Whitney was into those substances, unfortunately, way before Bobby Brown came into her life. Usually, for the most part, we attract people into our lives that have something that is within us, and maybe they enhance that bad thing, but for sure, he was not the catalyst to her addiction. Her addiction was already there and already present way before he came along. And there's one thing that you got to know for sure. You're not going to stop somebody that has an addiction. You can beg them to go to rehab. You can beg all kind of stuff, but they're going to have to want that thing more than you. You can't make them do it. Now, I will say this too. When it comes to freeing yourself of stuff, when her son, it was back when in New York City, that K2 was wreaking havoc on the streets. People were walking around like zombies. Her son got hooked on the K2, right? Hold on one second. LB said that. Thank you so much for the super chat. The only sadness Kevin has is because he didn't get a cut of the documentary. I could believe that. That is not any kind of love. Love cares and protects. I do agree, right? So thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. So when her son got hooked on that, and she told this story on her show. She told this story on show, not in real time when it was happening to him. She told it later on. So when her son got hooked on it and his cousin got him hooked, according to Wendy Williams herself, that's when they went down to Dr. Sadie. And quiet as it's kept, or maybe many know, a lot of celebrities, when they had something serious going on with them, they went to Dr. Sadie. Left Eye was actually where she was and when she had that accident because she was under the tutelage, so to speak, of Dr. Sadie, just wanted to cleanse herself, her mind, her body, her soul, right? So anyway, back to the point. When they went, Wendy Williams had the work. She was the workhorse. She was the money for the truffle. She was the money bag for the threesome. It was well known between the three of them. At some point, everything can't be blamed on the other party because people can only do what we allow them to do. And she allowed it for years. She knew, Wendy Williams knew that Serena was down in with her son and Kevin Sr. when Kevin Jr. was going through his treatment because Wendy Williams couldn't be there because she had to work. And so a lot of people were saying, why did this boy call Serena the mom? The parents had him confused. right? And that's why I was just like, they too hard on Kevin Jr. The parents had him confused. His whole life damn near, he was seeing his mama, Wendy, and he was seeing Serena too as bonus mom, second mom, mistress, whatever you want to call her. Wendy Williams allowed this truffle, this threesome to go down and go on. And that's why Kevin was so familiar with Serena, because he darn near grew up with her. And in his worst moment, not because Wendy didn't love her son or didn't care for her son, she was the workhorse. She had to stay in New York and work. And Serena and Kevin Sr. was down there while he was going through his treatment. And so when he was going through his treatment, because Dr. Sadie, he's into the natural, eat the vegetables, eat the fruits, eat the this, eat the that. Kevin Sr. got into all of that. Serena got into all of that. Hence Serena doing her vegan food, feeding the vegan food to Kevin Sr. and trying to launch her business with the vegan food. So, I love Wendy Williams. And the thing I loved about Wendy Williams, one of the things I loved the most about her is the fact that she went to school for communications. And from the day she graduated from school, she did communications. She took a job, I want to say it was Jamaica, but somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. And she said she was making $3 a change an hour on the radio show. But she didn't care because she knew that's what she wanted to do. And I always appreciate the fact that this woman went to school for communications, because I know plenty of people that go to school for something and they never end up in that field. She went to school for communications and she was relentless, and she wasn't going to stop until she had the best career in that particular field. Okay, come on, Juanita. I love Wendy Williams. I've probably been to her show over 10 to 15 times. Love Wendy Williams. Towards the end of Wendy Williams' reign, when she was losing it but still working, what's the guy's name? I forgot his name, the light-skinned guy. He literally would have to tell her everything to help
Norman.
her remember. Huh?
Norman.
Norman would literally tell her everything so she could.
Norman's her right-hand man.
Yeah. But what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, forget about, he was her right-hand man for a long time when she was still well. I'm talking about when she started to decline, when she was still on the show, Norman told her everything. She wouldn't remember a name. She didn't remember the people on the screen. She didn't remember anything. I saw it in real time. It was sad to watch. And that's when I said, I just can't even go back here anymore. It was sad to watch. And if you are, do you have a copy of that video at Wendy Diva? Which one? When I was on, I would have to dig. I've been there so much, and I asked Wendy questions too. And then if you really watch Wendy from when she first got her show, Charlamagne the God was with her. Then her and Charlamagne the God had a fallout, and everybody kept asking her, where is she? She wouldn't open her mouth. She wouldn't say a word. But I mean, I'm not going to keep going down the Wendy Williams history. I just wanted to bring up the fact that her substance abuse problem, it was long before she met her husband. And Wendy said on her own show, she talked about how she grew up with her sister and how she was always the oddball out. And that's how she ended up with these super huge boobs and all of this other stuff, because the self-esteem was in the gutter. And her parents, they thought it was a joke. They joked a lot about Wendy, how she looked, how she was skinny, she was awkward, she was tall, and it jacked up her mind. And it led the footwork and the blueprint to everything that happened in her life. She was married before Kevin. He was a mess. But all of that, it started way back when she was a little girl. And in her mind, not saying her parents said this, but she kind of said so, but whatever. In her mind, she was never enough. So you think it's a coincidence that she ended up with husbands that treated her like she was never enough? Okay, I'm sorry. Where was I? I went to You Already E?
No.
Okay, it's your turn.
Well, So thank you for the recap, because some of those things I have forgotten about. But for me, I don't care what the parents did. I will never thank the side piece hooker for taking the wife's son to rehab because the mother had to go to work. For all I know, the son was hooked on the HTC because of the confusion taking place in the house due to the side piece influence on a two-party marriage. Yes, Wendy had emotional problems before Kevin, but Kevin exaggerated the addiction and amplified the hopelessness of it all. This woman made her entire identity about being married to this man, and it was ultimately her undoing. We saw it. Someone said, had it not been for Kevin, she would have been canceled a long time ago. Well, that would have been great. That would have been great because that possibly could have saved her sanity. Now it seems like it's a day late and a dollar short, and it's no consolation to consider if the mistress never had the baby, then Wendy would have stayed. Stayed for what? The end result would have been the same: toxicity and destruction. That needed to be over. Kevin didn't love Wendy, and I'm going to stand on that. He loved Wendy's money. And a part of loving Wendy's money was to keep her going to work and meeting the requirements of her position. And that included looking the part. Wendy was a talk show host. It was in Kevin's best interest to ensure her image was pristine and that her battles with substance abuse was kept a secret. Had all of this information gotten out in season 3 versus season 12, Kevin would not have been able to buy Sharina Hudson that house in Jersey down the street from Wendy's and those Birkin bags. Good evening, Sharina Hudson, and good evening, Journey. Now, the second thing, I do think, we have to have care of what we label love. Felicia keeps instilling in me. She says this a lot and my ears just go ringing. She keeps saying language matters. Language matters. And she's right. What Kevin has done to Wendy is not love. He caused her too much pain to even consider offsetting his motives as something benevolent because his love drove Wendy to drink into oblivion. We just talked about it. And I don't know. I don't want that kind of love. That's what I know. I know Kevin is a scheming, verbally abusive hoodlum that saw a gravy train moving past him with a pair of G-cup breasts, and he said to himself, let me get on this ride while the tea is still brewing. Kevin managed Wendy's career like Tommy and Go sold powder donuts all over New York City. Be clear, it is still within Kevin's best interest for Wendy to get back on TV and appear well, even if she's not. Just like Wendy's brother kept trying to kick it to us. Oh, she's well, she's fine, nothing is going on. She's going to be coming out with a new show. No, it's in all of their best interests. Because if the sooner Wendy is back working and making the money, the sooner all of these people can get their hands back in her pocketbook. Be clear. Kevin loves himself more than he loves Wendy and more than he loves his kids. Everyone who Kevin has presented to us surrounding his public persona is an extension of him because if Wendy looks bad, Kevin looks bad. His embarrassment does not translate to empathy or compassion. That's not what that means. Him being disgusted by the trailer does not mean he cared about her. Wendy is just a catalyst for him to be able to financially support himself in his old age with his deteriorating back, past due medical bills, and his bald ass head. And that's just that.
I appreciate you, Ian. I want to be clear to everybody. I said he loved her the way he knew how to love her. And everybody definition of love is different. I know people that think they be in love because they get bags, cars, and this, that, and the other. So I'm just saying everybody definition of love is different. And if somebody has the power to make you drink yourself to oblivion, is it their fault or yours? I'm not going to, this is just me. I'm not going to lose my mind over no man. I'm not. Not going to be drinking myself to death. You said there's only one different definition of love, Loretta. So you got to tell me what that definition is and what exactly does it mean. Who can define
Got
love?
some women. You got some women saying, my man don't love me unless he beat me. I don't know what kind of mind they in.
Yeah, but somebody give me the definition of love, and let's see if we all agree.
Well, let's get it from our spiritual books. Emmanuel, what's the definition?
The definition of love is an
Well,
intense feeling of deep affection.
love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. And yeah, there's more to it, but that's some of it.
Could I?
Go ahead, Dustin.
My definition of love is being there for people when they are down. And I love everybody on the panel, so that's what I was gonna say.
We love you too.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, we love you, Dustin.
Everybody has been on.
I was
I
always
have been
told
feeling.
love is not
Hey, let
supposed
me
to hurt.
finish.
I'm sorry.
Gina. So Dustin, I love you because you caught my point. Everybody got their own definition of love. You can and if you try to follow somebody else's definition, you probably never get there. You know, if love, so this is exposing people, that's love.
That's not love, diva. Nope, not at all.
Having your fights and your grievances in public, that's love.
No, it's not.
You know, we talk these things, right? But then when we try to relate it to others, we're like, no, that's not what I mean. That piece is okay, but where's the love?
Yes.
But where's the love?
I'm sorry. I was always told love is not supposed to hurt.
That's not the definition
I'm
of
just
love.
saying that's what I was told. If somebody love you, they're not supposed to hurt you. That's what I was told. I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm just saying love is not supposed to hurt. A man won't hurt a dog, but he'll hurt a woman. Come on, be for real.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Can I just say I had a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, that told me that he loved me and everything, and then he decided he didn't want nothing to do with me because of my disability. So that's not love in my opinion. So I had to cut him off. I had to block him. I forgot about him. So it really hurt me deeply. It still hurts to this day.
Thank you for sharing, Dustin. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Tay, you're up.
Dustin, you ain't deserve that, Dustin. It's okay. You still got forget that person. If he don't love you, just let it go. Well, you know what I mean, Dustin.
I know.
That tell it there. I'd rather be single. I'd rather be single myself. Because if you don't love me and you tell me you don't want me, I'll pack my bags and leave. And this for Kevin Hunter right here.
I'm
you're the one.
I'm better off. I'm better off without him. So that's pretty good.
Yep, that's true. And tell that to Winnie ex-husband, boy, you better get you a J-O-B. You ain't gonna get my money, the money I work hard for you. No, you ain't gonna get nothing for your ministry. No, you gonna get a J-O-B. A real man supposed to love, protect, and for his wife, provide the family as a real man supposed to do. And tell that you the one broke Winnie heart, soul, her spiritual, everything, because she loved you and she gave you everything all of her, and you gonna take everything right there until you do right with it, until everything you do right by Winnie, everything you think of go fail. And this right here, Diva, This right here for the cold purple right here is already done to you already. And tell her that I pray for Whitney to heal and everything until she not be with this man everything. He does nothing but a gold digger. He don't love Whitney. Whitney love him. And tell her that you gonna break Whitney heart because you can't keep it in your pants. No. A real man had to be faithful. Everything. Don't tell me. No, that's the real love right there. You have to be faithful. And think about him. He made me mad right now. I just feel bad for Whitney, Diva. I feel bad for her.
The thing is, go ahead. I thank you, Tay Tay. She said Wendy never learned to love herself. That part right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key right there. And if you don't love yourself, the stuff you want to endure. The stuff you want to endure when you don't love yourself. She never thought she was good enough. She never thought she could survive without that man. And for her, whatever he was giving her, she thought it was love. Emmanuel, you're up.
So if I may just quickly finish that definition, it also say it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. And love is unconditional. And I don't think Kevin loved Wendy unconditionally. I think the only thing he loved unconditionally was Wendy's money. So I feel it's a lot of layers to this story because you have the low self-esteem, you have the bad husband, and listen, I don't care how good the side piece is. Knowing what she did to my mother, I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna call her mom or nothing like that. So here she has the husband, and here she has the son. Her family's nowhere to be found. I feel extremely horrible for Wendy, and seeing her in that trailer just it shocked me and it saddened me because we all love Wendy. You know, there's no one has ever done it like Wendy. With that being said, though, I have always asked myself since all of this began to transpire, the conservatorship and her going out in these public spaces, I always ask myself, would she be better off with Kevin? You know, regardless of everything he did to her, would that be better? And that's one thing I wonder.
The thing, give me 1 second, Dustin, please. The thing is that I think everybody needs to understand is lighten up on Kevin Hunter. This was not, he was the one that definitely wasn't loved and protected. Y'all keep saying what I wouldn't do, what you wouldn't do to your parents, but your parents wouldn't have you growing up being confused, not knowing what's going on here. If from birth I had in front of my son his father and another man, what the heck is he going to know? And I'm saying, call him daddy too. This is daddy. This is your daddy too. Similar to Drew Barrymore, Drew Sidora on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying something about what daddy this is and this is your other daddy. It was just some craziness, and kind of separating her son from his dad. His biological dad that went to jail. It's the confusion of the parents that put the confusion in the mind of the kid. So we don't know, but we do know there was foolery going on. It was a truffle. And who knows, when I can't be there for my son, and now my son is down there in rehab, and when he wake up or whatever he's going through, Serena's wiping my mouth. Serena's helping me. You don't know what this father was telling him. Just like you see, he's still confused because he told his father he didn't want to be a part of that documentary because his father told him not to be a part of it. And then the father's shocked when he sees him in it. I feel sorry for Kevin Jr. It's too much. And no kid should even have to go through all of that. None. And you know, we want to throw this all on Kevin Hunter's back. And listen, I don't like no side chicken. I ain't trying to say whatever, but this is Wendy's fault too. I love Wendy. Love her. But it's still her fault. She had a huge responsibility in this. You sat in that mess, and that's the mess that your child grew up in. Probably was his norm. See his mother and see Serena. It was sad. Tasha K had the pictures. When they would go on vacation, Serena was on the plane too. She had a hotel room too. The same exact vacation that Kevin and Wendy went on, Serena was there. He didn't know no different. And he said, I got two mamas. Probably one night he was in the room with his dad and Wendy, and the next night he was in his room with the dad and Serena. And after a while, kids ain't stupid. They may not know exactly at first, who is this other person? I know a true story of somebody who parents, the dad had a mistress. The mistress kept telling the dad to leave your wife and the kids. He wanted that darn mistress so bad. I'm not going to tell you, but make your conclusion what he did to himself and the mistress. And left the wife and the kids behind. It's the foolery. And I will say this last thing, and then we're going to move on. The last thing I want to say is, at some point, especially if your man is cheating for years or your spouse is cheating for years, at some point, first you get a little instinct, and at some point, you know what you know that you don't want to admit that you know, because you rather sit there and pretend that the perfect picture is what it is, and you're dying inside. And what you thinking you saving your kids from is showing your kids nothing but confusion and mess. It's confusion and mess. I'm going to throw this out there before I move on. It's confusion and mess. When you are a single parent, and every other week, you got somebody else in and out your door. And you want to introduce, this is Uncle so-and-so. Some of them grew up and had 99 uncles that was not related to them. And then you wonder why they confused and they got mess going on in their head, in their life. And then when they become out adults and they go out there to get in a relationship, it's a whole hot mess. We got to take responsibility for our part in the jacked up situations. It's easy to blame it all on Kevin Hunter. But let's be real. I love Wendy. I love her. She owns a piece of this mess. So you know you got Graves' disease. On top of that, you like other stuff, substances allegedly. Now we're going to throw alcohol on top of that. And then we got to throw the fact that you taking medication for whatever type of disease you got going on. When you think you don't think your body at some point going to give up. Your body's going to give up. Anybody else before I move on to the next subject?
Kevin is wrong. It's two left shoes.
I hear you, E. Listen, just in general, when we want to always point the finger at somebody else and blame it on somebody else, we always going to be in a messy life in a situation. You got to take ownership for your part and stuff.
Well, Wendy's sick. She can't take responsibility right now. So the one who's not sick, he needs to take responsibility. I haven't heard him come out and say he was wrong yet. Did he?
Oh.
Can I ask the question? Wasn't Wendy messing with Serena too?
Now, come on now. I'm not going through all
What?
that.
No, I'm just asking.
No, I'm not doing
I
all
thought
that.
somebody said that.
I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. I'm gonna move on. This woman, I just, it's just sad that, and I'm not doing all that. It's sad to see the demise right before our eyes. And I just say, to everyone out there, you got to do what you want to do in your life. But I say, you said it the other day, E, when they want to act up, pack them up and never look back. Let them, if they want to be for the streets, let them be in the streets. And I also remember too, but this is my memory, when they met, they were kind of equally yoked. Wendy wasn't on top of her game and making that type of money, right? And he was a street guy, street pharmacist. So he had a little bit more money than she did. And then the tables turned. But anyway, that's my memory of the whole Wendy Williams thing. I'm going to move on. Let's move on to this last story where you got this young 22-year-old iPhone thief, right? Let's share this screen really quickly. So a mass thief arrested after allegedly being filmed blazingly stealing 50 iPhones on display in California Apple Store. I mean, I just don't understand people. It's just insane to me. Let me see. Is this the one I want to play? I may have to back it up to show y'all. I may have to back it up to show the video. A California man was arrested on Wednesday night in connection with a thief from Apple Store in Berkeley, in which he allegedly seen on video snatching display devices before walking past a police vehicle and walking to a getaway car. Emeryville Police Department detectives arrested 22-year-old Tyler Mims of Berkeley for his involvement in the theft and charged him with burglary, grand theft, and other crimes. On Monday, officers with the department were dispatched to the scene after the caller reported the crime and said the suspect fled with 50 iPhones with a total value of $49,230. A masked man later alleged Mims, I just want to make sure it's there. Mims was wearing all black clothing and seen in the video going from table to table at about 10:30 a.m. on February 5th, 2024, ripping phones from their display and placing them into his pockets. During the nearly 45-second video, the thief took dozens of phones, which cost hundreds of dollars each. Dollars each. Witnesses stood by and watched, and the person recording the video followed closely behind the individual as he exited the store and brushed against a police cruiser before getting into a black Hyundai. Listen, from everything I know, you can't even activate these phones when they're stolen because somehow they know. But the video made the rounds on social media the next day. Since January 19th, the department has responded to 4 grand thefts from the Apple Store in town. After the first incident, detectives began working with nearby agencies with similar thefts, identifying thieves as organized retail crimes. The department announced Thursday that on Wednesday night, a joint collaboration between its detectives and the Berkeley Police Department and California Highway Patrol resulted in 3 arrests associated with a theft at the Apple Store in Berkeley that happened earlier that morning. Mims was one of the individuals arrested, police said, and was the person depicted in the video from the Emeryville Apple Store. Mims was booked into jail and charged with 3 counts each of conspiracy to commit a crime, burglary, grand theft, and organized retail theft. Now look at him. This is just ridiculous, insane. And they just watched him. This is just stupid. Look at him. The video garnered more than 10 million views on TikTok and X in total as of Thursday morning. According to the Emeryville Eye, the Apple Store in the video was closed for several months last year, but reopened in January. And the reason why they was closed is all because of the theft. I'm going to back up so you can see the actual video of him stealing. We'll get back to that. But for right now, I'll go ahead, stop sharing my screen and go ahead, in my opinion, your thoughts. Are you there, in my opinion?
If you could pass on me.
Oh, okay, no problem. Savannah?
And Diva, my face is looking like the owl that wasn't above the story. Like, what the heck? Because the iPhone is the only the device that can be locked, and I'm trying to figure out how he thought he can sell this phone or these phones. How many did he steal?
He sold 50. He sold 50.
and he thought that he was going to sell these, and actually that they were going to be activated, because those things can be locked and remotely, and I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with our youth nowadays. They can also be tracked. I'm just trying to figure this out right now. So bless his heart, as they say in the South, because once a iPhone becomes missing, they can easily be traced. So, yeah. Oh wow, and that's an Apple store.
Yeah. It's not insane.
Oh wow, that is
How
insane.
this is
That
insane.
is insane. Oh wow. Yeah, that is insane. I'm glad no employee decided to
Yeah, try to be a hero, right?
absolutely, absolutely. So that's
Look,
crazy.
walk right past the police car.
Wow.
This is insane. Total insanity. Total insanity. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, you're done. Julius, you're up. Julius, are you there? Okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
that man is a fool, a straight fool.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a little bit of his face in the video.
That part.
So, like Queen Latifah's character, Gina Nora says, and when Jorge says, "What is this?" This is World's Dumbest Criminals, starring you and Inspector Crawford. Well, we have a real life dumb criminal on video. Yay! Not.
Thank you, Julius. E, you're up.
Well, I don't know. Looked like a young Kevin Hunter to me. Um, I just really think that, we need to know more details. And, perhaps there's something going on with this person beyond what meets the eye, because it's abnormal. It's abnormal. And I'm curious as to how this is going to play out in court.
Thank you, E. You there, Felicia?
Yeah, I'm here. I understand they got big problems out there in California with organized crime, with these gangs going in and doing these quick sweeps in the store. And so watching this footage, I'm thinking that this may have been some kind of initiation, some kind of, you want in, you got to go do so-and-so, because we know that they successfully can go in to these Apple stores. They purposely target them to go in and quickly wipe them out of supply. And he looks like the kind of person, just on that little piece of video, where he wants to be in so badly someplace that he does something so dumb and so foolish. Yes, as someone else had said, that there wasn't going to be any success, but maybe it's success on the other end. Okay, I did it. So now I'm in because I went in and I did that. And often I speak about, and many of the stories here tonight was about care and love. And often I talk about how young people need to be loved and protected. And these are the things that I see when you can tell when someone has not been, because it just doesn't make sense. So, but if I think about what's going on in California, particularly in places like Arizona, with these going into the store in groups, and you go ahead and you take XYZ, and then you're welcomed into these gangs, these crews, these kinds of things. I'm thinking whoever was out there said, okay, you go do that, then, you could be a part of this group.
I'm making that connection. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, because
it just didn't make sense, right?
Right, it doesn't.
Broad daylight, and you're just a pop.
And to be very basic, I mean, So if he needed 2 phones, you could have went in for the 2. You went in for $49.50. You know, I need a phone, 2 phones. But no, you went such a high number. So there was something else behind that. So yeah, he's going to do time. You know, they need to bring people in and hold them up in the jail. A lot of people going to the jail, and maybe Judge Mathis could do his good work in trying to get some of these people out.
Lord, not Judge Mathis.
Well, I don't want him talking about what comedians should be doing, but he's a judge. He knows how the law works. Maybe he can go do some pro bono time to get some of these people out of the jailhouse. That would be far more effective.
I cannot. Tay, you're up.
This, you big dummy. You should cover your whole face. And then everybody can see your face right there, that part right there. And you wear like a red t-shirt too. Oh my God. And then did everybody see how he walk at the after he walked out the store too? Oh
yes,
my
it was
God.
disgusting.
This dummy right here, this big dummy. My God. That's all I gotta say. And I shake my head too at this right here. This big dummy.
Thank you, Tay. Emmanuel, you're up.
California is becoming a hellscape. This is not the first time this has happened. I've seen multiple videos. It happens on a daily basis. People are going into Apple stores, into Gucci stores, Louis Vuitton, even CVS. I saw a video of these 3 girls that went into a CVS with bags, and they just stuffed everything in the bags, and they just walked out right on, you know, super calm, super peaceful. I know that the governor of California also wanted to sign a bill to make it illegal for the employees of the store to try and stop these shoplifters. And I also know that people from California are leaving the state in increasing numbers, and they're coming to states like mine, Texas, because they're getting tired of this. So they got to get it together.
I appreciate you, Emmanuel. So I worked in retail all through college and after. And you know, I'm 53. This was many moons ago. Even then, you was not supposed to ever put your hands on or try to stop a thief. It's a liability. So you call and report it. Now I worked in malls, so they will always tell you to just call the mall security. But you never were to go after them at all. And so a long time ago, but you know, this is different. Those phones was locked up. And he was just like a pop, 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 pop. Because you see, yes, I am. Yes, I am. You see the cords that he was just popping off. But everything I know, because when my son had got an iPhone one time, but he got it from someone, you can't activate it if they feel it's stolen, and they know by the serial numbers or whatever. So I don't like. That's why I'm leaning towards what Felicia said. But the stealing now is getting so brazen and so out of control. It's almost like the amount of money they're losing. They might as well hire an off-duty cop for all of these stores to work there 24/7. They would save more money. And so in these stores, they like to be so cheap. I mean, back then I wasn't making a whole lot of money per hour. They would even drop down the amount of employees in the store depending upon the trend. And I remember I had to talk about it then. I said, I'm never working in this store alone. I don't care if it's a non-busy time. Nobody come over here and bop me upside my head, because back then when I was working, more people pay with cash, checks. And I'm talking about when you used to have to use a credit card. This is how old I'm talking about, how long ago. It was a machine. It was this flat machine. I can't explain it, but if you know, you know. And you had to put the credit card on the machine. And it was this carbon copy paper. And you had to slide the machine over the card and the carbon copy paper and fill out stuff and the price. And I'm telling y'all, that's how ancient I'm talking. So my point is, though, that we have more cash on hand back in those days when I worked in the store than they do now. So that's why I think now too, people steal more of the merchandise and stuff, because at the register, you probably not really going to get nothing. But they did still, I always worked clothing stores. So what they would do too is at the front of the store, they would put one hanger this way, one hanger that way, because people would come and grab racks of clothing and then run out. But if they tried to grab the rack and one hanger was this way, one hanger was the other way, it wouldn't, all the clothes wouldn't come off. So, you know, people been stealing for centuries. They're just getting more bold now, and they're doing it in broad daylight. I mean, people used to go in the fitting rooms. They would go in with 10 items and come out with 2, and they stuffed all the clothes, or they put the clothes on and put their clothes back over it. And that's when a lot of these dressing rooms, they say, okay, how many items you got? 5, and they give you the number 5. And when you come out, you needed to have 5 items. It's disgusting. It's terrible. And it's sad. Katrina, you're up.
Yeah, I remember the machines, Diva. I remember them, girl. Yeah. And like you said, the stores now mostly is like everybody's playing with a debit card or a credit card. They're not even using money anymore. Even at the schools, like when you go to the schools basketball games, you can't get in paying money. You have to go online and use your credit card to get into school games now. These kids, I seen like what Emmanuel was saying, how they was smash and grab and running these stores. I seen one boy running down the street with the purse still hooked up to the stand. He was dragging it down the street. And like Felicia said, it probably was an initiation thing, because he didn't even run when he seen the police. Like he been stealing forever. You walked out the store and you seen the police and you ain't run to your car because you had too many phones. You just walked to your car. So the police don't even scare this child, because ain't no way you just gonna walk by the police was right outside where the car was.
Like the car was,
yeah, the car was. I don't know if the police was in there, but the car was right there. But anyway, I really, I don't know. I don't know what this world is coming to. I try to be honorable. I try to say things. Maybe sometimes I say things out of place that I shouldn't say. That's just my mouth. I'm sorry about that. But I don't know what we're gonna do with this world, because you know people try to give and help, but I don't know what the world is coming to anymore. It's not like it was when we was growing up, but I just hope they get the help that they need, or what he was doing it for, because them red shoes was a set off right there. But anyway, bless him, help him. That's all I got to say.
No, help him. He need help. Listen, I'm about to show the feel good story, but there was this guy. I think the person was an influencer. So it was a homeless guy. First, she bought him coffee or something like that. Then she started a whole GoFundMe for this man. And now listen, the homeless man on the street, can you imagine? Then all the people he abused came out and said he don't deserve that money because he was in the shelter and gave this one lady 2 black eyes. I mean, you can't even try to do good anymore. Google that story. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's a recent story. It's some influencer. I think she was from TikTok. She was doing a video. She runs into this man. He asks her for a cup of coffee or something like that. She buys it for him. She decides to do a GoFundMe for him. The GoFundMe raised $400,000. And then the people came out and say he don't deserve it because he be up in the shelter beating the ladies down. It's a mess. Let's get into this. They call it smash and grab every Yeah. Oh, it was in Washington, D.C., Savannah, that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, wasn't that sad? I was like, good gosh, you can't even be good to people no more because you don't even know what's really real. It's just insane. You saw that, Major? Yeah. Was that not insane? I said, oh my gosh, this man is crazy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share this feel good story. Oh, this one I loved. I love them all. Was that not a great story?
We end tonight with a lesson in the power.
All right, I thought that was a great story. I loved it.
Amazing story, Diva.
Wasn't it? And y'all know I love to read and I love books. I just thought it was so sweet. Like he just, because regardless of the books being donated, he still has to open it, he still has to run it, he still has to make sure it's maintained, and he's giving it away all for free. And then you got the teacher that comes there and just stocks his classroom with the books. Thought it was a great story. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all.
A mind is a terrible thing to lose, so y'all better use it.
Y'all better use it. I can't believe it's this late. I didn't even realize how late it was, but I forgot I did come on late. But the time flies when I'm
That's
with
all right. You staying up, you young, diva.
and the time flies when I'm with y'all. I love y'all for being here. And
You
listen,
going to see Cat Williams this weekend, diva?
I'm not going to Atlantic City, but you know what? But I'm wishing them well on their tour. I really am. And I think when I was talking to Felicia earlier, I just hope that they're just doing jokes and that the jokes are not aimed towards all the people that they have issues with. Do you know what I
When
mean?
you get here on February 24th, I'll tell you how it was.
Okay, you tell me how it was. But listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here, and I hope y'all liked my song tonight, Heal This Land. But listen, if y'all didn't hit that like button coming in, hit the like button going out. Y'all be cheating the diva. Stop cheating the diva, okay? Let's show love this year in 2024. I'm headed to 100K. Let me say thank you to y'all tonight, and I'll see y'all
If you
tomorrow.
love diva, hit the like button. Show her that you love her.
Thank you.
Yeah, or we striking.
Miss Striker. See y'all next time. Bye, guys.
Good night, all.
Good
Good night, y'all.
Breaking news tonight. Rage across America. Protesters out today over the killing of George Floyd. The entire National Guard there called up for the first time ever. New curfew set for tonight as cities brace for the worst. American ingenuity. But it comes as we brace for something else. The country's long history of racial injustice boiling over.
May your love flow like a river. May it rage like the clash of the sea. Fill my cup with your precious love. Let it rain down on this land from the skies above. Take me from this trauma we see. Create in me true prophecy. I don't know how long I can endure, but I know your love can heal this land for sure.
First, here tonight at 10, the shooting death of a Dayton teen is shining a light on the issue of domestic violence.
Human trafficking is believed to be the third largest criminal enterprise on earth.
Opioid abuse in the United States is at epidemic level.
And now to the latest on the coronavirus. The United States is reporting the highest number of deaths in a single day, nearly 1,500.
May your love flow like a river. May it rage like the clash of the sea.